Well, the leftist anti-energy agenda is increasingly working its way into your bottom line. And according to our next guest, it could cost you. Here on the show, we've talked about this type of investing before. It's called ESG, which stands for Environmental, Social, and Corporate Governance. And the major concern here is that asset management firms, organizations that people have trusted for decades to invest their money, firms like BlackRock, which is the world's largest asset management firm, are now using that money to crusade radical policies. It's become so glaring that Republicans are planning on making this a key issue in 2024. And even a former BlackRock executive is calling the model broken. So how could this affect you? And should you change your investment strategy? Here to help us answer those questions is Andy Puzder, visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation and the former CEO of CKE Restaurants. Andy, welcome back to the show. Always good to see you. All right,
Thanks,
so
Lindsay.
there's a lot to break down here. A lot of criticism right now from the right on ESG, environmental, social, and corporate governance. They say it's the leftist scheme for circumventing democratic processes to impose arbitrary standards on corporations in order to hijack the free enterprise system for political purposes. Okay, so is that true, and why is this such a big deal?
Well, it's important because it really is, ESG really is a shortcut around the ballot box to implement these leftist policies, particularly climate policies, without any kind of election. It's the large asset management firms that have huge voting power because they control the stock that's invested for pension funds, 401k plans, individuals, and they vote those shares rather than to enhance returns for those investors. They vote those shares so as to pressure these energy companies, American energy companies, to adopt things like net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Or other policies that actually cut back against fossil fuel production at a time when oil prices are really through the roof. I mean, what a great time to be invested in the fossil fuel sector. 19 of the top 20 best performing companies in the S&P 500 this year are in some way related to the energy sector. So it really isn't a policy that supports returns for the people whose funds are being invested, investor returns. It really is to support these leftist policies and to avoid the democratic process when you're doing so.
Well, so not looking out for your dollar at the end of the day. No. The world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, is the organization actually facilitating the majority of this agenda. You wrote a whole article on it, actually, and you explain how BlackRock is trying to strike a balance between democratic ESG initiatives and Republican financial responsibilities. You say, will BlackRock offer products that encourage fossil fuel production to meet the investment goals and priorities of its red state clients? Personally, I'm skeptical. All right, why are you skeptical? Because I also know you talk about how states like South Carolina, Louisiana, Utah, Arkansas have all announced they're divesting their money from BlackRock. So they're trying to speak with their money here, but you say that may not work.
Well, I think if enough states do that, it could work. And BlackRock is in a very, very difficult position because they not only want to make their red state clients, their Republican conservative state clients happy, they've also got to keep their blue state, their Democratic, their left-leaning states happy. And those left-leaning states want BlackRock to implement these ESG policies across their entire portfolio. In other words, they not only want BlackRock to invest the funds that they provide to advance these ESG objectives, they want the money taken from conservative red states like Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, that are very involved in the energy sector. They want to take the money those states invest, and the blue states want BlackRock to use those monies to advance this leftist agenda. Obviously, the red states are very upset about this, and BlackRock, the article talked about BlackRock being between a rock and a hard spot, because it now wants to make both of those factors happy. It's trying to figure out a way to do so, and it's just not going to work for them. They've either got to choose to support the blue states or the red states. And if they support the blue states, there are pretty good arguments that ESG investing violates state fiduciary duty laws. So, and the duty being to focus fully on the interests of the people whose funds you're investing. So BlackRock's got some issues here, and I hope the red states keep the pressure up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if you're a viewer at home and you're investing, what are red flags to know that your investment firm is actually putting money into ESG, that you would be concerned they're not looking out for your best interest?
Well, look, they're very open about it. Just go to their website. I mean, they actually brag about being involved in this ESG movement. This is Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum and Ryan Moynihan at Bank of America, Larry Fink. And Larry Fink's he's not only not the only asset manager involved in this, he's not even the worst one. We've got BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, all of the major asset managers are very open about their investing in ESG criteria to make investment decisions. So just look and see who's handling your funds. Check them out on their website. And then if you have an investment advisor, talk to that investment advisor about getting you out of these ESG-related funds, these ESG-related investments, voting your own shares. Don't let somebody else vote for you, and move forward in a way that actually benefits you as opposed to these leftist ideals.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about climate change and you protecting our environment, it sounds all good. But when you think about people aren't investing your money wisely, it's more for political gain. It's very concerning. Republicans have said, as I mentioned in the beginning, that they're going to make this a huge issue in 2024. Do you see this as a winning issue to run on?
I do. And I think you can get a sense from this. Governor DeSantis, Mike Pence have come out very, very strongly opposed to ESG investing. We've got the 19 red state attorney generals came out with a letter to BlackRock talking about how ESG investing violated their fiduciary duties. These are all elected officials. State treasurers have written a number of letters to BlackRock and to legislators about the downside of ESG investing. This is something that I think is a very good political issue, because when people find out that their money is being invested to advance ideals that are opposed to their personal ideals, and that they didn't give anybody permission to do this, and they're advancing policies that they didn't vote to support, but they find out that economically they are supporting, but against their free will, people get upset. So I think it's a very good issue.
Absolutely. Andy Puzder, thanks for being here to fill in our viewers on this issue. Always good to see you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Same here.